Hi everyone, New York Times bestselling author Jamie Brumfield. I'm coming to you today to talk to you about, I promised that I'm going to start doing where I read books about writing and writing process and sharing that and sharing the knowledge and things that I've got from those books on this channel. That was one of my 2020 promises. So it's February, I figure I better get this going. So this month I am reading Save the Cat! Exclamation point, writes a novel. So I'm reading Save the Cat, writes a novel, and I'm going to use this to finish up River's Fire. Now, as many of you know, I've already been working on River's Fire. I am cruising along with River's Fire. I'm having a lot of fun with the story. But I started reading Save the Cat, exclamation point, writes a novel. And I was like, wow, so this actually could help to strengthen the story a little bit. So I decided to stop writing for today and work a little bit on this process. And so I'm going to share it bit by bit with you as I continue to work along writing this book and getting this book published. I can't wait to see how it might change the overall feel of the book and what's going on with the book, and if it enhances it or if it doesn't enhance it. I'm really curious to see what it does and how it works. So I want to share this with you. So one of the very first things that they talk about in Save the Cat, exclamation point, writes a novel, is that your character's story has to be just as strong as your plot, your plot A and plot B. So they talk about plot A and plot B. Now I'm probably on chapter 5 of the book, and today I wanted to just go back to the very first chapter and share with you one of the tools that was given to me through the book. I definitely highly so far recommend reading this book. I haven't finished the book, but I do find that it's very, very helpful. And I do find that it's full of a lot of great information, and it just reinforces things that we already know. So if you're an author who's published a lot of books, it reinforces things that you know and puts it actually into written format for you. So you can really say, okay, yeah, this is a rule and I've been doing it all this time, and that's great. Or, whoa, that's a rule and I wasn't doing that all this time. That is impacting my overall story and readability for fans. And so I thought, well, hey, let's do it all together. So we're going to go ahead and chat about the very first worksheet that was given to me in the Save the Cat, exclamation point, writes a novel. And that is finding out whether or not your main character is story worthy. I mean, is your main character worthy of a story? And of course, you're going to deal with the plots and all of that, but is your character worthy of a story? Is the character worthy of actually creating a story that people are going to want to read? I know that River's story is actually part of the trilogy, which has already started. So people who fans of that series are going to understand that his story is worthy because his two sisters have already found their mate, and if he doesn't find his mate, then they did all this work for nothing. So it's all on his shoulders. And so and his time is running out. So that to me makes it feel like it's a worthy story. However, and my fans agree because they've read the series and they're rooting for this family for everything that they've been through because they've been through a lot. However, how does it how does it work, or how does it shore up with this worksheet that is given? So I'm going to go ahead and share this worksheet. Again, I'm giving credit to Save the Cat, exclamation point, writes a novel, so that way, please, definitely, if you like this exercise, then definitely consider checking out that book, buying that book, and reading along with me. So, all right, so here is what's going on. So is this hero my story worthy? The number one question, I do believe that the story is worthy. The hero is worthy. Who is the hero of the story? Now that's obvious that the story is named after it. It's River. So River's Fire is the hero of the story. And what is their big problem or flaw? So, and it also says here bonus points if they have more than one. So remember, the flaws start internally from the metaphorical shard of glass and manifest into external problems in your hero's life. So what is their big problem and or flaw? So when it comes to River, his big problem and or flaw is the fact that he doesn't know his feelings. He doesn't understand his feelings. He can't really, even though he can help his family, his sisters, and he's been a rock to them. He doesn't know what he wants in life. He knows he wants to be the pack leader. He knows that he knows his duty and he wants to fulfill his duty. He's learned that part of his life his whole entire life, but he doesn't understand his feelings. And that has a lot to do with having an overbearing father. It has a lot to do with the fact that everything's been placed on his shoulders since the day he was born, and he is a leader. He was born and bred to be a leader, and so he has to put on a face or a facade to the world, and that doesn't mean that he has. So he's mastered being diplomatic. He's mastered um, playing the leader role. But when it comes to his personal life, it is a complete mess. He doesn't know what he wants in his personal life. He doesn't know how to get it. He has been bouncing back and forth on what he wants in life. And so he's really confused. He is really just stuck in the mud. And and he can't really tell people this because he's the diplomat, he's the leader, he is the role model, he's the one that has to be strong for everybody else. But inside, he's a mess. He doesn't know what he wants. He's confused. He goes back and forth when it comes to relationships. He has no clue as to what's going on. So that is his biggest flaw. His biggest flaw. His secondary flaw is that he I'm looking at bonus points for this, right? I'm thinking of what River's secondary flaw is, and I have a feeling that his secondary flaw plays into the fact that he is a diplomat. So the fact that he can't make a decision, the fact that he doesn't know his feelings, the fact that he doesn't know what he wants, and the fact that he's played this role his entire life, and he just doesn't know who he is, that's a huge flaw. So how can you love someone if you can't even love yourself or know yourself? So that's going to come through in the book. His second flaw would probably be that he wants to save everyone. He is a knight in shining armor and he wants to save everyone. He doesn't necessarily want to hurt people's feelings. So that puts him back on the indecisive level. In fact, one of the things he does in the book, where his sisters were easily eliminating men left and right when they were going through their bachelors, he doesn't want to send anybody home because he doesn't want to make them feel like there's a problem. Then he's got the diplomatic aspect where he's like, well, how is turning down this woman from this pack going to impact my pack's relationship with this pack's relationship in the future? So he's just walking a tightrope, and I think that his flaws just fall in line with all of that. He just doesn't know where to go, and he doesn't know how to communicate it because he is the leader, and so everything falls on his shoulder. He doesn't know how to say, "Help me," and because he is the savior, he is the one that saves everybody. He's never played the role of needing help. So I think all of that kind of plays in line with Rivers' worthiness for a story, because it's going to be interesting to see how he plays that out. What do you think? Do you think that'll be an interesting story? Do you think it will make for an interesting story? I'm curious. Let me know in the comment section below. We want main characters that have flaws. We want main characters that have problems. We don't want, I mean, it's boring to read about a character that has it all figured out. It's boring to read about a character that knows it all. I mean, so that piece is really important. And I think that the two faces that River has to wear, his diplomatic face where he does portray that he knows everything, and then his face, or his internalized face where he doesn't know what's going on, is going to play really good conflict. I really do feel that's going to play really good conflict in the story. What do you think in the comment section below? So how is this problem or flaw affecting your hero's life or world? And again, that I kind of covered that, but also to that extent, they have 1 year after the father's reading of the will, which is coming up in a couple months, for all three of these siblings to be married, and for all three of these siblings to have started on their life, their personal life, as well as their, running the pack together. So the fact that he can't make up his mind, and his two siblings have already done this, and it all falls on his shoulders. I think that's how it's going to play in through the story. He just, he's indecisive. Have you ever known a partner who's indecisive? It can be so frustrating sometimes, and I really want to play that up in the book in the beginning so that people can feel that, like, he just does not know, but he knows he has to. So is he going to make a decision that so it makes me question, is he going to make a decision that is not necessarily the right decision for him, but it's the right decision for right now? And how is that going to impact things and relationships, diplomatic relationships? All these things are important to him. When he makes these decisions that are important to him right now, is that going to be the best decision for him? Is he going to find his mate? And how is the wolf and him going to respond to the wolf and his human half going to respond to this? Because I can tell you right now, the other piece to the story is that their wolves in this series talk back and forth with the subconscious mind or the conscious mind of the human. So they have conversations, and his wolf is not going to settle for anything less than um, his mate. So there's that piece too. Like, he is not going to settle, and River's going to have that conflict as well. So I think all of it comes into play. I think all of this will play in every decision that he makes as he works through the mating games, where he's dating all these girls and trying to figure it out, not wanting to hurt people's feelings, but also wanting to find the right person, and all of this kind of going on internalized, as well as being a leader for his pack and being the big brother to his sisters who have a lot going on in their life right now. So he can put all of his personal stuff to the side because he can focus in on helping them. But then when they don't need any more help, then where does that put him? So it kind of like plays into it, I think, a lot. So what do you think? Do you think that that's going to make the story interesting? And how, for those of you that read Rain's Thunder and Rhyme's Reason, do you see the differences? Like, all three characters in all three of their books. Rain's Thunder, she's different. Rhyme's Reason, completely different. And then we've come to River's Fire, and that's completely different. This is just talking about the character. This is talking about how he's trying to find his mate. This has nothing to do with the mystery around who's trying to sabotage the ability for them to make to find their mates, who's trying to sabotage us. Somebody's been sabotaging them since the very beginning when Rain's Thunder started. So there's also this series arc that's going to come into play as well. Okay, so what is causing this problem or flaw? What is the shard of glass? Time to analyze your analyze. I love that. Dr. Author. Okay, so I think it really has the flaw is really subconsciously, and it's ingrained in how he was raised with his dad. It's ingrained in the fact that he's always had to be perfect and right and a leader and a role model, and he's never been able to really ask for feedback. Their mom wasn't around, so he didn't have that maternal piece either. And I think that it has a lot to do with that. I think it all stems to childhood and how he was raised. So environment, and it's about nurturing over environment. Even though environment plays a piece, it's also about the nurturing piece. He didn't have that, and having to be the big brother and working through all of that, and dealing with an overbearing father who from day one was all about, you are this pack leader, you are my heir, so you need to be a good leader. And he learned good things, but he didn't learn it all. He didn't learn the important part with the mom, and the nurturing and the maternal instinct, and having that, and being a strong male lead, a hero. He doesn't have that that ideal to look at. Even with his sisters, both of his sisters were forced to be strong in their own way, were forced to be leaders in their own way, were forced to fight for affection from their father. So they don't show up as role models either in this area. So they're trying to figure out the relationship aspect too, and you can see that in the other two books. They still didn't figure out the relationship aspect, but they have a good handle on it now that they've made it through their story arc. So I think all of that comes into play. So it's his it's ingrained in his childhood. So that's going to be hard for him to break. Habits from childhood are hard to break. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun to work through. At the start of the novel, what does your hero want? My hero wants to become basically find his mate. What is their goal? Their goal is to find his mate, to get married, to fulfill the stipulation in the will so they can continue to lead the pack. And what do they think will fix their life? Finding true love will fix his life. He believes that. He does believe in the romantic fairy tale. I do give him that. He believes in the romantic fairy tale. So finding that is going to help him. But can he make up his mind, and can he choose the right person as opposed to the right person now? Can he choose the right person for life over the right person for now? The next question is, how has your hero been actively pursuing their goal? He has been actively pursuing his goal by helping his sisters to this point. He has not even remotely started working on finding a mate, which is actually another downfall for him, another fault. He's had months to start working on his own, finding his own mate, but he hasn't even begun. He has no idea who these women are, really. He just basically going off the list of women. I think there is a plot twist, an internal piece there, that there might still be some hang up on past relationships that has caused him to not want to move forward, and maybe even some closure that needs to happen with past relationships that will cause him to not be able to move forward and really get really invested in a relationship. So on this, he's going to be good on the surface, but he's not going to be invested in these women who he is trying to find for his mate for the rest of his life. They're going to see that. They're going to spot that instantly. They're going to know, hey, you're not invested in this. You're not emotionally invested in this. Have you ever been in a relationship where the other person was not emotionally invested? That is the feeling these women are going to have, and he's going to have to come to terms with that he needs to get emotionally invested. I think that makes for a great romance, because they know, they're like, in the back of their head, they're like, well, if he's not going to give it all, I'm not going to give it all, so why are we doing this? It's like a false dance kind of thing, and the readers are going to catch that, and so are the his potential mates. They're going to see that too. So I think that's going to make for a good story as well. So how is your pursuing their goal? He hasn't, and now he has no choice. He has to. And why haven't they achieved their goal yet? As we talked about before, I think we talked about that in the previous questions. So just reaffirming, he's hung up, I think, on past relationships closure, and um, the ideal. He doesn't know what he wants. It's a lot of stuff going on in this poor guy's head. Um, and while he's trying to balance everything else, this roadblock can be internal, external, or both, which it is. What does your hero actually need? What is their life lesson? And what will really fix their life? So this is a romance. What he needs is to find love, find true love. This is what's going to fix his life. He needs to find his partner. He needs to find the right person to be with. He needs to find the right person for him and his wolf. And the fact that he needs to find his mate. He needs to find that other half of him that's going to fix things that he can't do, that's going to pick up where he drops the ball, and he'll pick up where she drops the ball. And so he needs that deep partnership, and he needs a partner who's going to be a leader. He needs somebody who's going to be a leader with him. He doesn't want somebody who's going to stand behind him. He wants somebody who's going to stand beside him and lead with him. And you'll see that in the games when he's doing the different games to pick on who he's going to pick for dates and things like that. He really is about finding the partner. He does want to find this, but he just doesn't know how. And he doesn't know how to break through his own internal pieces. And I think that's going to really play a big part in this book. What do you think? What do you think about River? Do you think that his character, his story, is worthy of a romance? Let me know in the comment section below, because I would love to hear. Do I need to add more? Do I need to dig deeper? What more would you like to see from this character? Are the flaws good? Are the flaws perfectly imperfect? Do they connect and resonate with readers? Because I tried to find flaws that we have all seen in relationships before. where we've been in a relationship where many of us have been in these kind of relationships. So these are flaws that we can identify with, that resonate with us, that gives us the want and the need to uh, root for the happy ending. And that's kind of what I was looking for with this book, because this is the end of my trilogy. And then, of course, there's going to be spin-offs from all the other characters that you've seen from the other books, but this is the end of my trilogy. So I really wanted to blow it out with a big um, emotional kind of thing. So let me know in the comment section below. Do you think I hit it on the nose, or do you think there needs to be more to this that I'm missing? I really would love to hear. And for those who have actually read the series and know River, do you find that this is something that is consistent with his character from the other books? Let me know in the comment section below, because I think the last book I wrote for this series was 5 years ago. So if I am not being consistent from the fans' viewpoint, which I feel I am, but I always want to hear from you. It's important to hear from you as well. So let me know in the comment section below if you got a different feeling about River through the other 2 books. I would love to know that. But if you haven't read the other 2 books, it's okay, because you can read this book without reading the other 2 books. But if you haven't read the other 2 books, do you think that River's story, his character arc, everything that I'm working on with his character is worthy of a romance? Let me know in the comment section below. I love to hear it. All right, so that I am New York Times bestselling author Jamie Brumfield, and thank you for escaping into paranormal with me as we chatted about River's fire and the character and whether or not his character is worthy of a story. I thought this was a really great idea as I'm listening to my audiobook for the Save the Cat exclamation point writes a novel. I thought that was pretty fantastic, and a great way to start out introducing you to that book, which is really awesome. I'll link up the book in the video description below. I'll also link up all my books in the video description below. And if you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe and click the bell to get notified when new videos become available. Like this video, comment down below, let me know what you think of this. If you like these kind of things, please share the channel, please share the video. Sharing is caring, and let other people kind of connect with it as well. It's really great to kind of dig into the writing process, and I really love the ability to be able to do that on this channel. But we don't just dig into the writing process on this channel, we do a lot of stuff. It's all about me working from home, being an author, being a self-published author, and raising kids, family, and beauty, and all kinds of things. We do tons of stuff on this channel, so check out all the videos. Oh, and don't forget, I do a lot of TV and movie reviews, so check out the reviews playlist, because I think you'll probably find something that is binge worthy for you there as well. So if you are already a Brumfield believer family member, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for your support. I really do appreciate it. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.